Hey, this is Tobin Greenswag. I'm back. I just wanted to show our shared ventilation system in an APRV mode of ventilation. I've had several questions about that, and it's been a common topic with COVID. In our center, a lot of the patients are actually getting inverse ratio ventilation, and it's been a very effective way to deal with the profound hypoxemia that these patients are seeing. And so we basically have the shared ventilation system, which we've described previously, that's got splitters coming off the vent and then going to two separate patients. These are both ASL 5000 mannequins, and so we're able to simulate a lot of different patient scenarios. This patient on the right is what I would call severe ARDS. Patient over here on the left is more of a moderate ARDS. I think the compliance on the left is around 40 and maybe down to 15 or 20 on the right here. The patient on the right is actually spontaneously breathing at a rate of about 18 is what it's set in on the vent. Our machine isn't actually picking up on that respiratory rate because it's such small little spikes in the pressure that you see here. But the one real nice advantage to this is that it's going to mean that patients need to be less sedated and definitely not paralyzed in order to use APRV. With other modes of shared ventilation, we do need to keep patients much more sedated, and so this may be one additional advantage of APRV. We do have some limitations. Right now, our vent is dialed into a P high of 20, a PEEP of 0, a T high of 5.5, and a T PEEP of 0.9. That's a little bit on the longer side. As you can see, that's pretty effectively giving us about that 75% exhalation that we want to see. So exhalation's getting from 25 to 50% of the max. The one other thing I should note is usually when we're doing pressure control shared ventilation, we use this flow restrictor in order to adjust how for various lung compliance. That doesn't have any effect on these patients because the way that's working is that as you dial down the valve, the orifice becomes quite small and it takes a longer time for the flow to get through and thus a longer time for the pressure to rise. In APRV, you're up at a high pressure for, well, we've got 5.5 seconds dialed in, and so you're not actually going to restrict your pressures at all, and so essentially this valve is doing nothing in this particular configuration in this particular circuit. That's nice if you don't have access to those valves. This is the screen on the second patient, and we were able to relatively effectively also find that middle ground for the T low in order to get this patient also having a reasonable amount of exhalation despite having different patient characteristics. I will say that there is some little warble that you see on the pressure line up top, and that has to do with the spontaneously breathing second patient. And so I don't think that is actually materially going to affect much or be that uncomfortable to this patient, but that's something that would need a little bit more further evaluation or investigation. We certainly could have sedated the other patient more, and then it's a really clean pressure waveform across the top. So I definitely think that this has potential, really good possibilities for it. It could be really effective to help deal with these really difficult to treat patients, and it really has that opportunity again to decrease the amount of sedation that's necessary. So any questions, please feel free to give us a call, email, tweet, whatever, and we can try to run different simulations if people have questions about it. Thank you.